So I've been adventure riding for a little bit, and also I've been starting to do a little bit of moto camping. And I definitely do not buy super expensive gear at all. As a matter of fact, I would argue I buy the cheapest gear money can buy. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that I don't spend that much money on my gear and it's all very quality, because quite frankly, probably a lot of it is not. But I did kind of want to make this video to kind of show you guys that there's alternatives to a lot of super expensive camping gear out there and adventure riding gear. So let's kind of get into my gear and I'll kind of show you guys what I'm working with.
369 girls wanna drink wine. Tell the man not to waste your time. If the man broke, the man he a joke. So you gotta get loose with the Henny and the Coke.
First things first, let's get into this tank bag. I didn't buy this tank bag with my own money. It actually came free with my bike when I bought it. From what I can tell, you can get it on Amazon for about $22, or at least a similar looking one. Although it does a pretty good job of holding my phone and battery charger and all that good stuff, I'm not quite sure I'd recommend it. The front pouch that has clear plastic on it is meant to hold your cell phone while you ride. It has poor ventilation going to that pouch, so whenever you put your cell phone in there on a sunny day, it's definitely going to overheat. Another issue I have with this bag is that overall it's really not all that durable. Notice a lot of strings and things like that coming off of it because it's falling apart. There's also a zipper on the bottom that is completely broken and I can't hold anything in that bottom pouch anymore. I'm probably just going to continue to use this bag until it completely falls apart on me, and eventually I'll upgrade to a better quality one. On the back of my bike, I'm rocking a waterproof case. You can get one of these at Harbor Freight for about $30 to $40. It's just a great way to carry just about anything and keep it dry and protected. For longer trips, I like to use these soft saddlebags by Moto. These can be bought on Amazon for about $70. These are 50-liter bags and you can fit a surprising amount of stuff in them. The bags themselves are not waterproof. However, they come with waterproof covers. I have used these waterproof covers in the past before, and they actually did a pretty alright job of keeping everything dry. I will say overall, I've been impressed with the quality of the bags between the material and the zippers. The only thing that feels cheap on them is the plastic clips. However, I will say I've never had a plastic clip break on me. I got this variety pack of bungee cords at Walmart. It comes with 22 different bungee cords, and I use them all the time to strap stuff down to my seat and back of my bike. I think I paid $16 for this, and I don't ride with this jar on my bike, but typically I grab a handful of them and just shove them in my saddlebags. I highly recommend everybody have some. If you ride a thumper like me, I cannot recommend these foam grips enough. These things are super helpful, especially if you're taking a long ride. I mean, these things are going to save your hands from so much numbness. I only paid about $9 for these on Amazon, and they just slide over the grips of most motorcycles. Honestly, I don't notice any lack of grip at all, despite them being made out of foam. Just keep in mind, if you wash your bike or get stuck in the rain, your hands are going to be wet for a little while. Aftermarket seats can actually be super expensive. Luckily for us, there's plenty of seat cover options. I just use this sheepskin I bought at a local hide shop for 20 bucks. It actually saves my tailbone from a lot of vibration and keeps me from being saddle sore on the way out to the trails. Now when I get off road and start doing some dual sport stuff, I typically take it off just because I'm going to be standing and sitting down and the skin's just going to fly off. This thing is just super soft and it's not that bad to have when you're sleeping in a tent. For GPS, I literally use an old Motorola phone my brother gave me. I don't even have to pay for service on it and the GPS system still works. Essentially, you just need to download an app on your phone that will download maps and GPX files and allow you to view them when you're off Wi-Fi. I use an app called OSM and maybe it's Awesome and I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. But pretty much, you can download up to 7 states for free on it, and you can run any GPX file. It will constantly tell you where you are as you're out on the trails or wherever you may be. I'm actually lucky enough that this phone came with a stylus from the factory, so I can still use it when I have thick gloves on during winter time. For mounting it, I just use an old GoPro mount with a cell phone adapter thing I bought on Amazon. Except the beauty about having a cell phone as a GPS is that there is hundreds of different cell phone mounts you can choose from to mount it on your bike. I really don't recommend using your actual phone as a GPS just because it can easily get damaged or dirty and things like that. I just like having my actual phone stowed away somewhere safe while I ride. I think everybody can agree that having air in your tires is one of the most crucial parts of riding a motorcycle. While there is constant debate on every forum ever made for any adventure bike ever about what tire pressure you should run, it is important to change it depending on the surface type you're riding on. Last year I bought this battery operated air compressor and it is just awesome. It's not very big, it does not take up a lot of room in my bike. Even though the build quality is not the best, it manages to air up both my tires just fine to whatever PSI I want it to be. The battery life on it is pretty terrible. I really would not recommend putting this inside of a car, but having this on a motorcycle is awesome. But overall, it's super simple to use, and it's a very handy tool to have out in the middle of nowhere. I can't find the exact model I bought on Amazon anymore, but I found something similar to it for about $50. I'm pretty sure last year I paid about $40, but inflation must have got to it. Last year I took a road trip on this bike, and I went through 4 different states and rode a little less than 1,000 miles in 3 days. All the equipment I just showed you I used during this trip. None of this stuff failed me.
Waste your time. If the man broke, the man he a joke, so you gotta get loose with the Henny and the Coke. 3, 2, 1, girls wanna have fun. If the man don't dance, he's done. Tell him move on, get the man gone. Now can I get a Coke with my rum? 3, 6, 9 girls wanna drink wine. Tell the man.
It's 2024, and we all need Instagram to scroll through to put us to sleep, no matter how far away you are from any form of society. This portable power bank by Caballé has been awesome. It can charge multiple devices at once, and even has fast charging capabilities if you have the correct cord. I've found I can probably charge my phone on a fast charger 5 to 6 times with this. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and I just carry it in my tank bag. It also has a flashlight on it, which is not super bright, so it's super handy to have inside of a tent. Also, it never hurts to have an extra flashlight when you're wrenching on the side of a road at 2 a.m. on your 2014 Kawasaki KLR, because Kawasaki decided to put a carb on a bike that they made in 2014. This portable power bank is $30 on Amazon, and in my opinion it's well worth the price. I could have just wired a phone charger into the battery on my bike, but then I would not have the ability to go portable with it whenever I wanted. I use this battery pack to charge my cameras and phones when I'm out and about, and I've even used it to charge my battery powered air compressor before. Overall, this item is very well worth the price. Let's face it, we're adventure riders, not marathon runners. We like to eat a lot of food. For food on the campground and out on the trails, I recently bought this Peak 1 single burner by Coleman. I got it for $23 at Walmart, but so far it's been awesome. To operate it, you simply screw the Peak 1 onto the fuel can, turn it on, use a match to light it, and just like that you have flames. What I've been doing, I've been buying kind of MRE style food, freeze-dried food that you can just make with boiling water. There's tons of different brands you can choose from. I've had a few of these adventure meals, and they're actually pretty good. Usually one bag will serve 2 people. Tents can be super expensive. Some of them are well worth the money though. Me personally, I just want to be protected from the rain and bugs. I got this very small 1-person hiker/biker tent from Cabela's. I bought it on sale for $29.99, and it does the job. There's a ton of different options online for a single person tent similar to this, and I'm pretty sure they're all made with the same quality. Usually inside the tent, I just use a sleeping bag and a pillow, and it seems to do the trick pretty alright. I actually carry this inflatable pillow with me, which takes up 0 room in my bags. Essentially, it's like a miniature air mattress for your head. It's pretty comfortable. The only issue I have with it is that about halfway through the night, it starts to deflate, which means I have to air it up again. But for less than $10 on Amazon, I really can't complain. I also always keep a first aid kit on my bike, along with a tourniquet and trauma shears, emergency blanket, and an Israeli bandage. I also always keep a small toolkit on me, extra oil, and extra tubes. Not to mention the roll of toilet paper I have in a Ziploc bag, in case nature calls while I'm in the middle of nature.
So yeah guys, that's just kind of a breakdown of my gear. Like I said, I don't have the most quality gear, but I have the gear that works for me. I get everybody's different. Some people are going to prefer to buy the most expensive gear that's going to last them the longest, and that's awesome. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And some people are going to buy the cheapest gear that might not last them the longest, but hey, it gets them out there and allows them to do whatever they want. Wow, look at all that firewood, man. I bet it's all free too, sitting out here on the road like that.
3, 6,